And just as more names do depart Coronation Street, we've gone ahead and gained some more, as Coronation Street has announced, and Digital Spy has framed it as a Coronation Street legend. I'm not entirely sure if she counts as a Coronation Street legend, but she's definitely a familiar face among the fandom, and is someone who will probably get a fairly well-received reception when she returns. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Catherine Tyldesley, also known as Eva Price. So, as the article says, the actor Coronation Street star Catherine Tyldesley is set to return to the Cobbles 7 years after her last appearance. The actor first joined the soap in 2021 as feisty barmaid Eva Price, who later revealed to be Leanne Battersby's half-sister. Despite her bubbly personality, Eva was at the centre of many dramatic storylines, including her wedding to Aidan Connor, which ended in a big fight between Eva and Maria Connor. The character left Weatherfield for good in 2018, moving to France with a baby Susie following Aidan's tragic death, but according to The Sun, Tyldesley is ready to step back into Eva's heels later this year. The actor will reportedly begin filming in summer, with the scene scheduled to air in autumn this year. Tyldesley's return might not be much of a surprise to Corrie fans, as the star already hinted at making a comeback to the soap in 2019 and 2021. Coronation Street feels like forever ago, but I always look back with such great fondness, she told Prima just last month. They've asked me to come back a couple times over the years, and it just so happened that I was busy with other projects, she added. Adding that the right storyline could entice her back, but if they approached me with an amazing storyline, and the time was right, of course, I'd go back. During her time away from the Cobbles, she's appeared in BBC Scarborough, ITV dramas Viewpoint, and Straight Come Dancing. She was recently reunited with her on-screen partner Shane Ward on the Channel 5 drama The Good Ship Murder. So, yeah, I mean, if we just take a peek, I'll also take a look at the Sun article just to see if there's any extra detail that the Digital Spy hasn't necessarily looked at, or the Mirror. I think it was the Mirror. Eva's made a comeback. Everyone thought the same, but never say never. Sources claim that start filming coming scenes for new scenes. She's so excited and can't wait to get back on the Couples, and it's definitely not going to be a storyline to miss. But when she was approached to the idea of Eva's return, it was too good an opportunity to catch up. There was a storyline last year where Leanne's little boy Oliver got very poorly and unfortunately died, and made total sense that Eva would come back, and because why wouldn't she? And they reached out to me, but it was so unfortunate. I'd already signed to do Viewpoint and the dates. We just couldn't make it work. As a Corrie fan, I felt I let people down, she admitted, because I'm not one of those actresses that'll say, no, I'm done with Corrie, I won't go back. I felt like they presented me with this storyline. I was like, oh gosh, yeah, of course she'd be there to assist her. I was really gutted that we couldn't make it work. Of course I nipped back. Of course I would. It was just such a huge part of my life. I adore that place. I really, really do. I mean, look, in terms of actual intrigue in the character, Eva was an interesting one. I didn't mind her that much. I didn't love her particularly well, but obviously she played a fairly big part in the Aidan Connor storyline, which to me is more of a impactful time. I didn't really watch a lot of that time period, and I have missed a lot of the Eva scenes. I remember there was some controversy about cake, where she, I don't know, something happened. Something happened and she was a bit selfish or whatever about some cake scandal. I don't know. Really none of my business. I comment on the soaps. I think Eva, as they're shuffling out a bunch of characters who are set to leave, with Daisy, you do want to, once again, like I've been suggesting for a while, you want to re-establish the new generation of Coronation Street stars. And if Eva, in that 2010 period, perhaps was a little bit overshadowed, still given very good stuff, still being given very good material, the relationship with Aidan, the affair with Adam, all that stuff. I don't know. It's a blank spot for me. I don't remember. She was introduced. I'm pretty sure she wasn't her mum Stella? Was she introduced as Stella Price's daughter? Was there with Carl. Carl was there. She existed. Eventually had the Aiden storyline, which took up a lot of her time, and obviously the Aiden storyline would later be her exit, as she would leave with daughter Susie and end up just departing. And yeah, she kind of played the like ditzy kind of character, a bit sassy. I don't know. I mean, it takes like you said, we are replacing a lot of these current characters, a bunch of characters who are leaving. We're having to re-establish the current crop of talents, the current people who will be getting the big storylines now. Daisy has been a big recipient. She's managed to do quite well in the last couple of years. She's generally always had a big storyline. I'm not saying Eva's going to slot right into that position, because I doubt she will. But I mean, the Battersbys is kind of, in a way, getting rebuilt a little bit, where they're trying to actually move the characters forward and not backwards. So I think this will be a good way to shape it up, especially because you have a problem where if you're, say, introducing a bunch of newer characters that people weren't really acclimatized to and weren't really feel at home with the said characters, you bring back some old faces, like Julie has returned. We've seen a Julie Carp's return scene so far, where she's harboring a bit of a secret. And you bring back an old face who, is a bit more comfortable, is a bit more like home, a bit more like the Coronation Street we know, a bit more like a Coronation Street of a bygone era that people probably almost definitely preferred to now. So I think it can only really be a good thing, and it also means that you can show a real sense of purpose. If there's one thing that Chris Clenshaw, the current, the soon-to-be former EastEnders executive producer, there's one thing he was really good at doing. He was really good at bringing back a bunch of old faces and kind of coating them with a new coat of paint, and suddenly they exit. But this one seemed to be different. It seems like she will be back on the show full-time. She will be very active. It's not just a part-time gig. She will be there pretty frequently. And, they're waiting to bring her in. And she said the storyline's going to be pretty good. So, at the end of the day, it's, when you get to a certain status as a soap actor, you do get used to saying no to the producers. Because it's like, oh yeah, it would be really cool if we could get your meeting. It's like, yeah, sure, fine. Oh yeah, what do you want me to do? Yeah, we just want you to come back. Yeah, what am I gonna do now? Oh yeah, you're just gonna come back and be on the show for a while. It's like, yeah, but what is Eva doing? What is my character doing? Yeah, well, we haven't really mapped out that. But all right, see ya. Meeting's over now. Like, you want something substantial to really entice you back in, and even then, like, through time you can decide whether you've been sold like a bad bill of goods. But at the end of the day, I mean, Catherine Tyldesley, she did seem to lose a lot of the enjoyment that people had of the character, and she has moved on to do a bunch of slightly different things. And she, she's had a good chunk of work since, had a couple of main roles in different shows. Had Scarborough, as it said, had Viewpoint, had The Good Ship Murder, kind of been back and forth, just generally doing a whole lot of stuff otherwise. But I mean, she's in her 40s now. She's not Like, she's had that time where she can I don't know, like, at the end of the day, if you were gonna leave Coronation Street or a soap, for example, and worry about getting typecast, it probably was before then, because she was there from what, 2011 to 2018. That's already 7 years, and we all know the Richard Blackwood like approach of only stay about 4 years. If you stay any longer, casting directors don't want to look at you. And she's done Strictly. She's done a good chunk of stuff that would be quite interesting to see how it does. But like, at the same way, she's done a lot of the roles. She's gotten a lot of the approaches. She clearly didn't get ridiculously typecast. And with all that said, now it's time to set your roots back again, come back, probably have a prolonged stint. And now it's about trying to graft Eva to become a really big, important character in the grand scheme of things, you know? Do I think she'll be made to take on like these massive, huge storylines? Not necessarily. I do think she'll come back with an impact and definitely have some more intriguing parts of the character, and it'll be interesting to see what she's been doing in the meantime. But as said before, I think now is the time for Catherine to really set her roots down and come back for a good chunk of time and just generally raise the stock of Eva Price, because ultimately, if this one doesn't work out, is there really much room for the character anymore? So it's kind of the perfect time. You're having a bunch of people leaving. Now it's time for a couple returns to shake up the show and reestablish who you believe and who you want your new characters of this new era of the show, the chaos era, the subverting expectations era. Maybe Eva is just what the Doctor ordered. But what do you think about Eva Price's character? What do you think about, this return? Do you like it? Do you not? Tell me in the comment section down below. I've been Ash from Watching Walford. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.